So, how was your day today? Mine was on the slow side. So I don't know if I've mentioned on this channel what I do as my day job. I work for a Porsche center here in Orange County, California. I've done several different positions at the store. I've been there a little over 2 years. But right now I do marketing for the store. So I don't know if you've come across my other channel. That is basically a bunch of Porsches for sale. I do other cars too, but mostly Porsches. And I do marketing for them, also Instagram and TikTok and the store's personal social media accounts. And then I also help customers, a product specialist, so I know all the models of the cars, and I help customers who buy Porsches operate them. Because if you ever are familiar with the Porsche system, it's very much a la carte system. You can order a basic Porsche 911 for what, $120,000, and then you could option it out with another $100,000 in options if you want. So depending on what options you build into your car, you have to learn how to use it, mostly with the technology. So I do that during the day, and as of this filming, it's been a little slow. We haven't gotten that many cars in. I guess there's some kind of a snafu. There's something going on with, they are having to hold a lot of the Porsches at port because they found out that one of the chips inside a bunch of cars was manufactured by some company that wasn't following the Porsche's standard for production, as far as I think it had to do with child labor or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, so don't quote me on it, but it was something like that. A country, there was a part supplier in a country, and the part supplier was kind of fudging the reports as far as what kind of child labor they were allowing to use in the building these chips that they use in a component of the car. So they weren't releasing these cars. Once they got to port, they had to source new chips and then replace the chips at port before they could release them. So it's been slow at the store. So we've just been making a bunch of videos and filming some podcasts. I started a podcast with one of the other salesmen that work at the store. So yeah, so I've been doing with my time. What about you? What have you been doing with your time? I know there's probably like 8 people that are going to watch this. So if you're one of the 8, tell me what you're up to. How's your day going? So getting into the little workshop here, which is basically my third garage of my 3-car garage, and continue working on my little cars that I hope to hopefully going to sell one day. I'm working towards it. That's why I'm using this opportunity and YouTube. We'll see. Well, my goal is to sell these cars that I'm building, but it's fun to make them for me. So what I'm going to do is just yesterday, if you remember, I showed you how I was painting the inside of the wheels. So I'm going to show you completed wheels on one car, and then start working on the metal alloy wheels of the Ferrari. So I'll bring you over this way. Okay, so here is the completed wheel of the Leighton house. So you see it appears as if I painted a little yellow ring around the rim of the wheel, but I didn't. It was that yellow dot that I put in the middle of the wheel, and then on top of that I put a black dot, so that it looks like I painted a tiny yellow rim around that wheel. So that would be like almost impossible to do by hand and get it straight. So here's the Ferrari wheels, and if you remember, I said that they're made out of 2 different colored alloys. So I did the silver one first because that's going to be the outermost alloy, and the very inside inner alloy. I take my you know what, I may not be able to get enough gold on the tip of that. I may have to dip it into the paint itself. So let's do that. To get I need to get a little drop on the end so that when I put this and drop this into the center, I could spread it around. Need a little bit more. And so I basically make, or not basically, I take this paint and I spread it around the center, and as it comes out towards the edge, it'll leave a silver ring around the gold center and mimic the 2-piece or 3-piece wheels that the Ferrari had in that time period. So can you see that? Can you see the gold in the middle of the silver? So it mimics that alloy. Go do this next one. And I know people will say, why go through all that hassle? Nobody's going to be able to see that, or nobody's going to care that you did that. But that's the thing about doing your art. If you are artistic in any way, don't do something because of what other people are going to think. Oh, it reminds me of Rick Rubin says, like, create for you first, and people will get behind what you're creating for you. Don't create for someone else. And I like that saying because when I do things like this, it's like it's what keeps me going. Like, remember when a few videos ago I talked about how my grandmother encouraged me in my detail, and that was such a good feeling to have, that now I do it as if I was going to impress my grandmother, even though my grandmother's no longer with us. But it's just like that feeling that I had about doing that detail is still there. So now I do it just for me. It's like, I know that nobody's going to be able to see this tiny gold dot in the middle of this rim, but I know it's there. So whatever you're into, whatever your art is, do that. Because that's the thing that gets you excited about doing your art. Because doing art can be difficult, it can be frustrating, things cannot work out the way you want it to work out. But as long as you're doing it for you, to challenge yourself, that's what'll keep you going. Because if you start doing it for someone else, you'll get tired. You'll get tired, you'll get burned out, you'll not want to do it anymore. But when here's how you know when you're on the right path. If you wake up in the middle of the night with an idea over what you're doing, and that idea you may think is so insignificant, but it gets you so excited when you wake up, like, oh, I have to try this. That's how you know you're doing the right thing. It's that excitement that will make it so that you can't wait to get up in the morning. You know, when they say that, sorry, I'll join us here again. You know, and they say that, you know, people that are depressed, they don't want to get out of bed, or they have to keep hitting snooze on their alarm because it's like their dread starting today. Oh, wow, you're really close. Sorry, I forgot that I was in Zoom. they dread starting the day. So that's why they keep on hitting snooze, snooze, snooze. But when you're doing the art that you're meant to do, whether that's painting or sculpting or doing music, or maybe your art is you're into numbers and you are great at math and you figure out the solution to a problem. Maybe your art is chess. Maybe your art is sport. Whatever your art is, that is what has to be the driving force in what you're doing. So if it's not, you'll see that it becomes tedious. You won't want to get out of bed in the morning. So that's my advice for today. Figure out what your art is, like I did in that, or said in that last video. Figure out how you learn, apply it to the art that you are feeling like you have to do. Learn or use the things that you're already in love with to learn, and you'll look forward to getting up every day. I hope I made that clear. It was clear in my mind. I hope it was clear to you. But let me know, what is your art of the few people that are watching here? I want to, give me something to bounce off of as far as what is the art that you want to pursue or that you are pursuing. And is do you know that it's your art because you have to do it and you look forward to getting up every day and you think of or you think of solutions to problems that you have in creating that art? Anyway, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you tomorrow.